income and felt like my own towards a more stable living situation. I see this shit all the time. That, like, I've seen this shit in, like, even in Ren's, I'm sorry, not in Ren's, I don't know if I've seen this in Ren's document. I think this was in his last document is where I saw this in Will's document. Don't get mad, okay? Like, I will be referring to Will as, like, I've been using, I think, all pronouns, but, like, still, gender fluid. I imagine, you go by all pronouns. I'm assuming that you're gender fluid. I don't know. Because of this, I was afraid to comfort Zeal about his behavior. I felt tolerating it was necessary in order to continue working on the project, with the hope that I could eventually move on to other opportunities. I often tried to ignore the messages. At the time, I was aware that others, including Kat and Zerum, had similar experiences, and I encouraged them to stand up to him. However, we all felt that doing so could risk our positions within the project, and that raising concerns might not lead to a meaningful change. Although I encouraged others to set boundaries, I found it difficult to do the same myself. In my past, attempts to establish boundaries in similar situations had led to negative outcomes. I believed I could endure this situation temporarily and move on later. It was only after Ren's document was shared that I became aware that similar interactions had occurred with multiple feminine-presenting members of the team, and was in fact a pattern of Zeal's. You said no, right here, whenever he asked if he could do something establishing a boundary, and I'm assuming he didn't do it. This right here, he broke a boundary. He's not comfortable being tapped with or touched, and I am very, very bad with eye contact. But, yeah, he randomly ruffled my hair. Dave & Buster's, right? Nothing about that was sexual, in any regard of the sense. This is not sexual. I don't read this, and I don't go, oh, well, you know, he was. Bro was trying to slide. No. Like, addressing claims. Why it took so long? To put it bluntly, I strongly believe that no one would have listened. I still don't think many will. Even the closest people in my life told me that they could not trust me, or that they think they did not want to hear it. I have been called a liar, a manipulator, and a horrible person. Friends I've had since I was a child have left me. People that know me in real life have talked to me about this. People I haven't spoken to in over 2 years have recontacted me and told me that I deserve to rot in hell. I assumed that the general public had the same sentiments, so I stayed quiet. I did not want to divert attention away from Ren. I did not want to cause more trouble. I thought that what Zeal had done to me didn't matter. Even now, my only purpose in posting this is to clear doubt from Ren's initial statement. You didn't clear shit. Regardless of the inconsistencies within her document, what occurred was still non-consensual. He still hurt her. There's nothing that can change that. I'm posting this now because I can't take it anymore. I'm far past my limit, and every day I delay posting this causes further stress. To affiliation with Zeal. I have said this before in my first document, but I will reinstate. I was under the impression that what occurred between Ren and Zeal was consensual. After being properly presented with evidence and having specific details explained to me, I realized that Ren was telling the truth. I also was able to interact with Ren via proxy, and we reached a mutual understanding. Please keep this in mind. Regardless of the other contents of Ren's document, there is absolute foolproof evidence that what had occurred was sexual assault. Dude, I've read everything, and I don't even know if that's... No, there isn't! No, there is not! There is not foolproof evidence that shit happened. It is a he said, she said case. We don't know what happened in that room. We know what happened after the fact. We have other witness testimonies. But we don't know what happened in that room. If there was consent or if there wasn't consent. There are texts that suggest that there wasn't consent, just like there are texts that suggest that there was consent. Stop saying this shit. There is no foolproof evidence. You don't know shit. You don't know this. Stop. doesn't matter if Zeal intended to or not. It doesn't matter if Ren didn't recognize it at first. It doesn't matter if he's sorry. Ren was still assaulted, and nothing can change or will change that. I am not affiliated with Zeal. I never want to speak to Zeal again. Zeal has not only sexually harassed me for a year. Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa! Whoa, hold on. He's but also been deeply abusive towards me during my development. Multiple co-workers have shared experiences in which he has snapped at and or screamed at me in calls, and multiple people have seen his treatment of me in more secluded chats. Sexually harassed me for a year? Well, shit. What about this is sexual? This looks, I mean, like the pet shit. You could go with the pet shit, right? What about, but even then, that's like, that is stretching. That is stretching it pretty quick. Kicks you, calls you dumb. Well, shit, guys. Oh my god. Oh my god, we've lost the meaning of this word. We've lost the meaning of this definition. Is this sexual? If this is sexual harassment, oh my god. Oh my god. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. If you're still watching this shit right now, look, okay, when I sat down to read this, I genuinely was like, okay, this is gonna be either some of the most incriminating shit we're ever gonna see, or this is gonna be the biggest nothing air burger of my life. Will, you had... So why are we hopping on this bandwagon? It makes no sense. We're trying to find any reason to vilify this dude. If you came out with a document saying that this guy was just a weird fucking dude, I would be like, yeah, that's pretty weird. Why would you talk to your coworkers like that? Not I was sexually harassed for a year. Are we fucking serious? This is actually fucking bullshit. This is actually fucking bullshit. Let's not include any of the reciprocated behavior at all. This was back in March. Who says that this was not, like, bites you, right? Kicks you, bites you, pets you. Okay, pets you is a little, you know, you could stretch it. Bites you? Come on, dude. What the fuck are you doing? This is so bad. This was not needed. I'm sorry, but you genuinely did not need to post this. This is just a lie. At some point, Zeal had joined the VC. Some of us were in, where he wanted us to help with the writing a response. It was clear a small mob had been growing to what some of the public saw as a completely unnecessary firing, and Zeal was completely losing his mind due to this. There was a lot of yelling from him during all of it, and we were all trying to get him to calm down. I think Will at some point had told him to calm down with the response and to at least wait a day to fully think it through. Zeal yelled pretty badly at Will during that. So they left immediately. At some point, I think Zeal even yelled, "Why does this always happen to me?" In my view, the situation was really not that bad and could have been handled much better. Okay, why? Okay. We're stretching the narrative here. Clip this shit. We're stretching the narrative here. That Zeal is this sexual assaulting savant who goes around and does whatever the fuck he wants, right?